everybody. Coach Taylor Scott here, the founder of the Trench Academy here in Tampa, Florida, and wanted to take a minute to really quick talk about our new coming up adult training camp. The Trench program has been really near and dear to my heart. It's been a company that's been around for a little over 5 years now. We're responsible for actually producing some of the top college and NFL athletes, as well as helping out athletes in all sports of all different spectrums and getting them. We've actually had over 200 athletes sign collegiate scholarships and over 70 athletes go from college to professional. Really excited about the adult training camp because the idea is that through a very high performance training protocol, we've been able to completely transform the bodies of athletes in a very short amount of time. And the reality is athletes have got to invest in their body because their body is their business. What they put in, they get out, and all of this is a constant investment into the overall program. But at the end of the day, as an adult, me being somebody that's a former retired athlete, but at the same time, I still like to train at a high level, but yet I own multiple businesses and I have 3 young children of my own. It's very hard for me to be able to find that balance between being able to perform at a high level and train at a high level and sustain the type of performance that I want to have as if I was still playing, but at the same time also be able to balance the lifestyle. And honestly, as my body gets older, things don't exactly operate the same way. So the idea is that we still want to be able to perform at a high level, but we have to be able to pivot our training protocol. And I feel that just over the last few years of us getting these incredible results out of some of our younger athletes and some of our professional athletes, there have been many adults that have reached out to me just personally or on Instagram or anything like that and have been saying, what can I do to get these similar results? Because they see the very drastic transformation that we're able to get our athletes in 8 weeks or less. And so the reality is the method is essentially, as a pro athlete, your body is your business. But as a functioning adult, whether you're a business owner, an employee, a parent, right, and anyone that has any type of regular responsibilities, your body is your business as well. If your body gives out on you, you cannot operate the day-to-day functions that we need to do, and we're not able to operate the highest performing levels. So what we've done is we've taken the same system and we've been able to modify it for the average adult and saying, hey, listen, this is the time that we can dedicate to the program. This is how to maximize our results in the short amount of time that we have. And this is ultimately how to mimic those exact same results. And then the most important part, not just get our body to the top performance, but make sure that that performance is sustainable down the line. So the idea is we go into our adult training experiences. We want you guys to have a professional athlete experience, which we've leveled out. Once again, the idea of what you're going to be able to get with the professional athlete experience. You're going to get strength training. You're going to learn how to do resistance training the right way. There's many programs out there that will have you lifting weights for volume or have you lifting weights for maximum load, but ultimately, unless you truly understand and identify the purpose of each individual lift, you're not actually getting the workload done on the muscle tissue that takes to burn fat and build muscle. You're really just putting load on your joints, ligaments, and tendons, which ultimately is what leads to injury. And that's what a lot of people have, whether you're a novice lifter or an advanced lifter, right? That continual load time to time with technique breakdowns is going to lead to injury. And the number one rule that we have in the Trench anytime we're working with a professional athlete is we can't get our athletes hurt. We have to make sure, in order for us to maximize our performance, we have to make sure that our athletes are healthy as possible and always sustaining a high level of technique, form, and execution in everything that we do to not only gain muscle, but to prevent injury. Then we're also going to get top-notch field training. So the idea is we want to be able to teach our athletes how to always find an athletic position, how to put their bodies in positions on the field where they're running, they're doing cardio, they're being active. Those weekend warrior adults that love to go out and play a pickup game of basketball or love to do Tough Mudders or really just love to be active with their kids. They're not afraid to say, you know what, this year let's go on that ski trip. They're not afraid to say that because they're confident in what their body can do and how their body can perform. The last thing we want is adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s to feel like they're athletically limited because of a back, because of a knee, because of an elbow, because of a shoulder, because of an ankle. We want to be able to find remedies to those injuries and those things that are holding us back, because ultimately the answer is through training and recovery and doing it the right way. And we've been able to do it with athletes on all spectrums, and we want to be able to show adults how to do this and then ultimately teach them how they can replicate this in their day-to-day lives going forward. supplement and nutrition guide. So a lot of people always reach out to us about, hey, what supplements do you take? What can I do to burn fat? What can I do to maximize my performance? What can I do to put on more muscle, put on more size, put on more power, whatever that might be? The reality is this, is when we do our supplement program, some people might have a problem with what I'm going to say here, but supplements are exactly what they say they are. They are supplemental, right? We always say steaks before shakes. We want to make sure that we have a great foundation through our day-to-day nutrition. And then ultimately, supplements are just there for you to be able to maximize your training performance each day to day. The reality is supplement focus is on recovery. The faster you get your muscles to recover, the faster your muscles are going to grow, the faster you're going to burn fat, and ultimately the more work output you're going to be able to put in each workout every single day, which is going to make you get results faster and ultimately get better results, right? The idea with supplements is this, is if you train without supplementing, then after your first week of training, your body might be so sore and so run down that week 2, you're only at 75%. And then you haven't recovered from week 2. So then week 3, you're at 60%. And by the time you get to week 5 and 6, you're maybe operating at 30%, 20% of where you would be compared to what we talked about, maximum performance. The idea of supplements is that we get our body back to 100% every single week in order to make sure that if I'm going to come in, I'm going to invest my time to come in and train, I'm going to get the absolute most out of that training protocol I can to make sure that I get those maximum results. Then we go into our professional rebuild recovery center. This right here is huge. A lot of adults, they say that they're overtraining when they get into training 3, 4, 5 days a week, right? But the reality is when we train our NFL guys and our NFL combine guys, those guys will literally come in and train for 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours a day. So how is it that some people can train for 8 hours a day, but yet some people can train less than 8 hours a week, but the people that are training less than 8 hours a week are saying that they're overtraining? Overtraining is one of the most loosely used phrases in the training industry. Like, oh, I'm feeling ran down. Well, it's probably because you're doing too much. I feel really sore and broken down. I don't feel like my body's responding well. Okay, then you need to pull back. The reality is you're not overtraining, you are under recovering. So for as much time as you spend training your body and tearing down these muscle fibers, you need to spend time getting your body actively worked on to recover. And that's the difference between your average adult and your professional athlete adult. Is a professional athlete adult has access to the resources that are designed to get their body back to 100% day in and day out. Like if you're a part of an NFL team, you have access to your NFL program that has physical therapists, chiropractors, ART specialists, cryotherapy, infrared sauna, all these different modalities that are designed to get your body back underneath you so you can be ready to go not just for the next game, but for tomorrow's practice. We actually are going to do the same thing with our adults. We have our full rebuild recovery center that has full on-staff physical therapist, Derek, who's our PT director. We have some recovery modalities that are found nowhere else in the entire state of Florida, including our Phoenix sterilization machine, our cryotherapy machine, our Normatec compression treatment, and our infrared sauna. We're going to show you how to combine these modalities to where it really doesn't take a lot of time, just taking 30 to 40 minutes a day on getting your body actively underneath you and how drastically that's going to help you recover to get back at 100% for your next workout. So then what we're going to show you is our trench training method. This is what is completely proprietary and unlike anything else, where you're going to learn all about our 5 pillars to ultimate performance. Those 5 pillars, just so you give you a little bit of a heads up, you're not going to come in day 1 and we're going to run you until you throw up and then we're going to put as much weight on your back as we can until you drop, right? That's not how we train here in the trench. We do take a lot of pride in having some of the most intense workouts around. But the intensity of our workouts are not driven by load, they're not driven by reps, and they're not driven by quantity. They're driven by quality, right? And the idea of quality is saying that no matter what, execution, form, and technique takes precedence over all. So what that means when we come to intensity is that when you get to those reps where you're like, I don't know if I have another one, I just don't know if I can finish this. At those moments, we're going to train you not to just finish, but to finish perfectly. In essence, we're going to condition technique every single day to where when it comes to your squat, when it comes to your bench press, to where it comes to your running form, You don't rep it till you get it right. You rep it until your body literally doesn't know how to do it wrong. When people are always training to failure, that's the interesting thing about training, is because training is a lot like life, and the fact that most of your successes come through failure. If you push your body to failure every single day with a proper recovery protocol, you're gonna see results. And we want to push the body to failure every day. But the problem is, what is failure? Many people think failure is until they can't go anymore. The reality is failure is when technique breaks down, right? If all of a sudden I got down to it and I have a set of 12, but I began to lose my technique at rep 9, then those next 3 reps just did damage. They didn't actually create any quality muscle breakdown, and all they did was put load on my joint, ligament, and tendon. That's where a lot of people miss it, because a lot of people get into their fitness journey with unbelievable focus, unbelievable dedication, unbelievable responsibility of saying, I'm gonna get up, and commitment of saying, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do this every day, but then they get ran down, and then that rundown becomes injury, right? That's a combination between bad form and technique and consistency, and not having the Rebuild Recovery Center to be able to get your body back underneath you as we go, right? Another part of that is, why do we train like an athlete? Like we talked about before, our body is our business, right? It doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're an executive CEO, you're a professional athlete, your body has got to perform at an ultimate level for you to perform at an ultimate level. When your body is right, your mind is right. And so that's one of the reasons why we take so much pride in making sure that we get our bodies exactly where we want to be every single day. The intensity through proper execution, right? We just talked about this, and we're going to dig into it a little bit more. The idea is that when you come in, we always say we want to teach you before we can coach you. We're going to teach you proper technique. And the thing is proper technique for you might not exactly be proper technique for someone else. It depends on your body type. It depends on injuries that you've had in the past. It's presented on maybe certain immobilities that you might have. And what we'll do is we'll be able to modify as we go to get you to maximize your own performance through that perfect technique every single time. And then training education. The idea for us is to go through this 8-week camp. Just like in the NFL, you have an 8-week training camp to get ready for your season. This is not just an 8-week challenge or an 8-week body transformation. Now, your body will transform. But the idea is this is an 8-week training camp for adults, for you to learn things over the next 8 weeks, that whether you continue to train in the trench or whether you go train on your own forever and you never come back to the trench one day for the rest of your life, you will learn things that you pick up that you will take with you forever. And to me, that is the most valuable part of this entire camp, is the idea that you're gonna learn about training. Because what people don't realize is training is not just something that you can will yourself to. It's a skill, just like a sport. And in order to master that craft, you have to work on your skill. And so not only are we gonna get phenomenal workouts every day and burn a lot of calories and burn fat and put on muscle and get your body looking great, because at the end of the day, in the trench, we train like an athlete. Look like an athlete, perform like an athlete, feel like an athlete. That's what we want. We want your body, and your bodies will completely transform as muscle depth, through muscle definition, through intensity of your lifts. You'll even feel more powerful, you'll feel faster, you'll feel more explosive, and you'll see the results of how your body continues to progress in the weight room and on the field. You will become a better athlete through this program, and your body will look different because of it, right? We don't want to take the focus of saying, hey, how do I go into the gym to get my body to look better? We want to say, how do I go into the gym to get my body and train my body to perform at the highest level and be the healthiest it can possibly be? And the cool part is the co-goal that happens with that is your body also begins to look better, right? I haven't seen too many professional athletes that you look at their body and say, that guy could do a little bit better. Generally, professional athletes are some of the best looking people around. They have great muscle mass. They have very, very lean muscle mass. They don't hold a lot of fat, but at the same time, they do it in a functional way that makes them look like they can still run, they can still move, they can still jump. And it's generally a pretty attractive aesthetic, which is what we want. We want to be able to combine the combination between athletics and aesthetics to generate one of the best training protocols for you. And once again, something that will also be applicable to your day-to-day life, right? It's not going to be something that you can't commit to. We've got it built up as basically a 3-day-a-week program. And then also we want you to be able to get at least 2 days a week of therapy and recovery protocol. You can do them on the same day. So essentially, come in an hour before your training session, get treatment and recovery, and that'll get you ramped up for your training session. Or You can come in and train and then get recovery immediately after. But we really just need you guys to commit to us at least 3 days a week. And if we can have you for 3 days a week for 8 weeks, 24 sessions, anybody can commit to themselves to 24 sessions. It generally takes doing something 21 times before you build a habit. The idea is by the end of this training camp, we've built a habit that you can take with you forever. And I promise, with the way your body looks, the way your body feels, and what you've been able to accomplish physically, mentally, and spiritually, it'll be a trench lifestyle that you want to stay with for the rest of your life. The coolest part about this is that we've been able to put all this programming together. What you're going to get, this entire protocol between, you're going to get your supplements, you're going to get your full therapy, you're going to get personalized training every single day, you're going to be with a coach for every single training program, you're going to get all these things built into a protocol, just like all of our NFL athletes do, just like all of our college athletes do, just like all of our other professionals that come in here. But instead of paying about $20,000, which is generally what our pros pay, you're going to get this for right under $1,000, right? Right under $1,000 is actually going to be able to get you all of these things, and the overall value of it would be if your agent was paying for this because you were about to go play for the Atlanta Falcons, it would generally be about a $20,000 program. And the reason why we're wanting to do this is because we truly want to show adults the right way to train. There's a lot of things out there, and there's a lot of fads, and the problem is there's a lot of misinformation. And generally, people that are the highest level in the training industry work with some of the best athletes in the world, and they stay away from Joe Blow, right? We don't want that here. We want everyone to understand, like, when we start working with pro athletes and we see these incredible results, my biggest dream is to say, this is for everybody. This is something that anyone can do. This is something that a program that anyone can interject themselves in, but at the same time, we need the resources, we need the knowledge, we need all the things that we're building up to that in order to get the full benefit of it. And if we can just commit ourselves for the next 8 weeks, you'll have an incredible experience. Your body will completely transform, and I think it's going to be something you're going to become pretty addicted to. But that's just what I wanted to explain a little bit. We've got a really, really exciting program. It's going to be actually myself and our head coach for our adults, Coach Antron, is going to be simultaneously working this program. So if you actually join this program, you're actually going to be working with me, and we're going to go through this entire process every single day. And in order for me to make the people that sign up for this my personal project, I'm not going to be able to take 30 people. I'm not going to be able to take 40. I'm not even going to be able to take 20. I'm going to cap this group at 12, right? It's going to be a team of 12 individuals that we hold each other accountable, we lean on each other, and we're 12 teammates. And as that, I'm going to be your coach, and I'm going to make you a personal project of mine to ensure that you get results. We always say when we work with our young athletes, I don't guarantee that you're going to get drafted, and I don't guarantee you're just going to get a scholarship. But what I will guarantee you is that you get results. Those other things we can't control. But the idea is that you come into this program, you will get results as long as you stay with the program, and it's our job to make sure you stay with the program, right? If you wake up one morning and you're saying, oh, I'm so sore, I'll be like, that's great. Like, oh, my legs are so sore I can barely walk. Well, great. That's why we have therapy today, get those legs worked on, and we're doing upper body. So your upper body will be fine, right? So we want to be able to make sure that we build this process up, roll out the red carpet for you, and really help you learn things that you can take with you forever and really buy in to living the trench lifestyle.